Well, the British media has gone completely bonkers over this story, which is really quite peculiar because it's basically as clear as mud what actually happened. The problem is that mud sticks. So the longer this drags on, the worse it seems to be for the person who's now known only as the presenter and for the national broadcaster itself. And I say he's called the presenter, it's because the allegations are not very specific and we don't know exactly who they refer to because so far the name is being kept quiet. Not that vast numbers of people within the media haven't heard very strong rumours about who it might be. But of course, no one is going to name him because this is a contravention of his right to privacy. And why do we have that right? Mostly because the BBC itself once sent a helicopter to watch police going into the home of Sir Cliff Richard, the veteran singer, on accusations that he had done something inappropriate. And of course, those charges were never brought against him. He had done nothing wrong. And the BBC ended up paying over £2 million and costs to Sir Cliff. So now perhaps the shoe is on the other foot. The BBC aren't able to name the presenter. We don't know exactly what it is that's meant to have happened. It's apparently the Sun newspaper says £35,000 were paid by the presenter to somebody who was underage at the time to send inappropriate sexual photographs. That's an allegation made by the parents of the said alleged victim, but that person is now over 20 and speaking through their own very expensive lawyers has said that this is all rubbish and nothing inappropriate or illegal happened. So the plot thickens. And then today, this afternoon, a second part of the story came out. The BBC has said that a separate person's come forward who's in no way connected to the previous complainant. And that person says they felt threatened by the same man who apparently first contacted that person on a dating app anonymously, then continued the conversation elsewhere, revealing who he was. And then when the person refused to meet up with him and said instead that they might go public with his name, apparently threatened him with messages that were full of expletives and apparently made them feel very unsafe. So there are now these vague allegations, some apparently illegal, some apparently not. The police are investigating. They've told the BBC to stop investigating because they're investigating. But so far, no arrests, no indication that necessarily something illegal has happened. And yet the Sun is digging in and really rolling this story out every single day.
Okay, well, wow. But, there are so many layers here in the story that has to do with the veil of anonymity. Let it be the presenter itself. This second alleged victim talking about this threat to force him go public. So is it all triggering, obviously many rumors and speculation? Is it fair to all others, this social witch hunt?
Well, part of the problem is, of course, that while there are laws that govern what the media, newspapers and TV can do, let's say, social media is a bit of a wild west. And so there's plenty of speculation going on there. Cue all the other male BBC presenters denying that this is them and saying that they're going to sue anybody that said it was them on social media. So there are photos going around on social media purporting to be of individuals. They could even be deep fakes these days. We just don't know. There is really no certainty over this story, both within newsrooms and outside newsrooms. Even the BBC's own newsroom is keen to point out that it has no specialist insider knowledge on this and is investigating the story the same as everybody else. Though one interviewer on BBC Radio 4 today, interviewing the Director General of the BBC, did say that everybody in that building knows who it is. So perhaps they have some insider information there. I think that what this is bringing out are all sorts of issues relating, as you said, to privacy and people's right to privacy, especially if they aren't charged with anything by the police, aren't arrested by the police, and haven't been shown to have done anything illegal. And then there's the question that the BBC has said today that it was carrying out investigations into these allegations when they were made using its internal investigative unit, who even knew that the BBC had something like an internal investigations unit that was meant to investigate the behaviour of its staff or contractors. All sounds quite weird and sinister. Surely, if the BBC had been alerted to something illegal, they should have gone to the police, as should the people alleging that the presenter had done something illegal. So there is so much that's unknown in this story, and yet, of course, that's what's giving it legs. Every single day, there's so much rumour and speculation that it just keeps going on and on. And with the two giants in the UK media, the Sun newspaper, that famous tabloid, and the BBC, the national broadcaster itself, at loggerheads, that's not going to end.
That's perhaps the essence of the story. Jonathan Sacerdoti, I must admit, I need a drink after this story. Seriously, so packed with details.
May not be the only one.
Yeah, well, okay. Next round is on me. I-24 News senior UK correspondent Jonathan Sacerdoti, thank you so very much for this, obviously keeping tabs on this peculiar story. Okay.